I was recently at a Qualcomm event, and setting aside the joy that was attending an event again, this one was actually really educational. The event was called Smart Cities Accelerate, a showcase of the ways that Qualcomm technologies would be able to power, you guessed it, an entire city. Topics ranged from general connectivity to digital equity to infrastructure, all with this overarching umbrella that brought it all together: IoT and connectivity like LTE and, of course, 5G. And while I was and have always been in awe of the possibilities that 5G might enable in our connected future, I kept having a certain thought regarding the pathway to such a future. How exactly do we get from the most connected product we have on us every day, smartphones, and extrapolate it to an entire city? My question would more or less be addressed through multiple conversations, both happening on stage and through my own talks with Qualcomm representatives for me to share with you in this video. So, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? This is a look at my time learning about IoT and how it can shape our smart cities' future, courtesy of Qualcomm Smart Cities Accelerate. So, Qualcomm brought out me, Issa, and Danny Wingett to their campus in San Diego to attend Smart Cities Accelerate. Despite much of the event catering to the more business-to-business or B2B side of tech, there was plenty to learn. So no, there won't be much by way of actual products shown in this video sponsored by Qualcomm, but I hope that I can impart some knowledge as to what IoT, the catch-all term for the Internet of Things, what it really means and how it can be expanded into the idea of a smart city. On-stage presentations included a few really important aspects that might be considered current hurdles toward a fully connected world. Digital equity, as it is called. Magic Johnson happened to be one of the key figures partnering with both companies and city governments to help bring connectivity to people of all backgrounds. Indeed, one of the aspects that need to be specifically addressed in the push for a smart city is how to upgrade and outfit every community with the tech needed to make it a reality.
We need patience in this space because in a lot of areas we have a lot of work to do. The technology is there, but we have to actually bring the complete ecosystem together.
And currently there are a number of city governments around the country that look to be the early examples of what this could look like.
And so we're working to upgrade our Wi-Fi infrastructure within community centers and our public spaces owned by the city. Our city buses are equipped with Wi-Fi, but we want to expand those efforts to include our metro centers and caller ride services. In addition, we're looking into creating a municipal Wi-Fi system that enhances the capabilities of existing broadband technology, including city-owned broadband.
But really, the most critical challenge, of course, is the human one. We've got to get skills into the hands, into the homes, helping folks get online. We've helped thousands of families so far get those digital skills so they can really participate in the digital economy.
And while it was great to see movement on the city level, I have to admit that a lot of the information being shared was kind of going over my head. After all, the tech that might actually power a lot of a smart city is less consumer-facing. So I was left with the same question of how we get from the smartphone we all understand to the grander plan. It was clearly a question I needed to ask directly.
So I have this notion in my head that to get from what is in our smartphones, to get from there to smart cities at large, I feel like there are paths in between. So I guess my main question is, where would IoT fall in that path? Is it important for people like me or us or the viewers to start smartening up our homes, or to make all our bulbs smart, or to put smart plugs in or anything like that? Where does IoT land in that grand scheme?
Well, Qualcomm is, our DNA is around mobile, right? And when people think about mobile, it's their smartphone. But today, that smartphone is basically your computer in your pocket. It's everything. It's your bank in your pocket. It's your workspace in your pocket. It's your school, homework in your pocket. You can do all kinds of computing within a mobile smartphone. Now imagine you take that technology and place it on other things that you couldn't possibly think about connecting and making it just as valuable, just as smart, and really having the ability to connect to one another, share content with each other, share data with each other, and now it can, be pervasive in a city infrastructure. And so I'm always connected to, what's going on in the city, my bill, my government, if there's an emergency, all of that can kind of connect and be part of that whole city infrastructure and connectivity.
So IoT can really be defined in the simpler terms, more specifically and quite literally, closer to home. All of the things that you or I might connect in our homes and offices do start with smartphones, connecting things like lights and appliances and even cars. You then start adding in aspects like remote communication, and then we can see how the scope of IoT can slowly expand.
Infrastructure is no longer just about roads and bridges it is, and highways. It's now about people and the infrastructure that we need for people to be successful.
And lately, the need for remote connectivity has been more important than ever.
So I think that the importance of connectivity, the Internet of Things, being mobile, being connected really came to play during that time. So now the kids went home. It was almost seamless for them to continue their education online, right? So there's that. But even from a retail perspective, right, it's kind of like a lot of the stores and restaurants are finding, hey, we need to figure out a mobile way to deliver food. Delivery was a big part of getting people their goods and their services. That wasn't as prevalent previous to the pandemic, but certainly had a huge rise during and continues today as a viable business model for a lot of these businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
It kind of comes down to making the tech that connects the specific parts of our lives connect every aspect of life, which today could look like the manufacturing and the medical realms.
In healthcare, we talked a little bit about the pandemic, really bringing that to light. And the hospitals kind of just shut down to everything except for COVID cases. How are you still getting treated by your doctor? A lot of people were doing, virtual doctor visits. But because we had connected devices like glucose monitoring or heart monitoring, they're able to look at your data and kind of, share diagnosis or some information with you to keep you healthy during that time. It's really valuable and it's compelling, and to know that it really does hit every aspect of our life.
Indeed, what made this Smart Cities Accelerate event different from the other times that I've seen Qualcomm share this big picture is that the concepts have become more and more realized. Drone tests, for example, have been common for my visits to the campus, but they used to be in warehouses where the drones were being tested for collision detection and automatic routes. Now, drone tech tuned by Qualcomm themselves is advanced enough and outfitted for obstacle avoidance, and now these drones are being put on actual tasks out in the real world. Now, these were just examples of that, with automatic drone flights being done in contexts that included medical and supply delivery. This particular testing bed might still be rather small and very controlled, but again, it's about extrapolating this tech to a much grander scale. I mean, even right now, some deliveries are being done automatically by drone, and in parts of the world that are not easily reachable on terrain, this kind of stuff can be a lifesaver. Certain other forms of tech are about capturing data, information that helps inform companies and ostensibly helps people. And so, we entered the command center, literally set up so that multiple areas of information could be accessed at once, from how crowded the parking lots could get to the traffic of actual people in common spaces on the campus.
The next generation of the smart parking tells you not only pinpoint where your car is located, but it has number plate recognition built in using sensing. So it looks at the camera, detects your number plate, and kind of tells you, hey, my car is here, instead of just saying there's an open spot. Second thing it does is if there's a hit and run, my camera is able to capture this and give you relevant information. For example, that's the car. I know the spot I parked, when I left, and I'm doing nothing different. I'm not logging into the system, I'm not punching in. It is a natural way of doing things. I'm just enhancing the experience by using IoT, especially the platform.
And in an era that required things like social distancing, systems like LiDAR were used in order to track how many people were in any given space. This is actually a readout of the cafe that is right outside of where we were sitting. If we were to extrapolate this particular example, businesses would be able to see where most foot traffic occurs and be able to optimize for more efficiency. Going beyond those simple data points, however, you could of course pair surveillance cameras and AI together, not only to identify things for security purposes, but even to find out minute details about those particular subjects. Now I know I said there wasn't going to be much product in this video, but I do have to share this one. A packaging label that has a built-in tracker paired with a malleable polymer battery. Stick this label, just like you would any other, on a package, and it can provide tracking information in real time. This is a great example of tech that Qualcomm presented that we think should be implemented like yesterday. So in the context of IoT, we've moved from the personal to the remotely connected to the greater picture of the public realm in places like stadiums and public areas. This is how IoT becomes something way more than what we're used to in just our pockets or our homes and offices.
But you know what's happening? There is a lot of influx into the cities. In 2040, the projection is we will only have megacities and cities. A lot of inflow. And our city infrastructures are not growing as fast as the population that is going to reside in the cities. So what does that do? That gives an opportunity to say, we got to better utilize what we have, add technology to top of it, so we don't have any wastage. So we are efficiently using what we have to get all of these things. So how can I better use it? So that provides a big opportunity for Qualcomm.
This level of data can not only bridge the gaps between people and what's important to them, but it can also be an overarching specter that positively influences any aspect of our daily lives.
We don't notice it when we do our normal things, like, hey, I dress up, I go to work, I'm in a commute, I'm every day you complain that, hey, it's getting worse and worse and worse, but there's technology that can make it better.
It's like such a big picture idea.
It really is.
Yeah.
But all those pieces kind of come together. Qualcomm has a unique position in the ecosystem, right? We work with carriers, we work with OEM, we work with software ISVs, hardware vendors, and manufacturers, and being within that ecosystem and being able to foster collaborations and new products and new processes and new experiences because of what we provide, our resources in R&D, our systems engineering expertise, our foundation and leadership in mobile. It's like the conductor of a great symphony.
Ultimately, my time at Smart Cities Accelerate was pretty fruitful, as I left with a better understanding of how my question has been tackled, how we go from the smartphone in my hand to the big city. Now, this might be an oversimplification, but when you think about it, the tech that might power a smart city is just a much bigger version of many aspects we already have at our fingertips. And it so happens that the smartphone is already a gateway into IoT, itself a pathway to a more connected future, a future that I'm excited to see become more of a reality. For more on tech, IoT, Qualcomm, and beyond, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks again to Qualcomm for having me out for Smart Cities Accelerate and for sponsoring this video. Let me know your thoughts by dropping some likes and getting into the comments. From there, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.